Roswell flight test crew here again today with our good friend and supporter, drone attorney Wendy Kellington. Well, Wendy, what have you got on the docket for us today?
Well, Patrick, earlier this week, the FAA announced a national drone registry program being kicked off, advisory committee being established to develop rules about who was going to have to register to fly in the national airspace system.
I don't know who is on this task force, and then when do they hope to have these rules in place by?
A variety of interests are on the advisory committee. We have our AMA is a part of it, the Small U.S. Coalition, a variety of manufacturers, attorneys, a variety of people, anybody who's anybody, the Airline Pilots Association, so it's a broad spectrum of interests are getting together to decide what the national registry system will look like, and the rules are supposed to be finished by November 20th.
Wow, November 20th, that's obviously not a lot of time. Now, I know from having participated in the rulemaking process for drones overall, that process has taken years, and I know there's a public comment period, an extensive public comment period required by the Administrative Procedures Act. How are they going to accomplish all that in such a short time frame?
Well, Patrick, they have a special set of rules for FAA to be able to act in a hurry when it feels it has good cause to do so. And in this situation, no doubt the final rule will have findings about why there's good cause to protect the safety of the national airspace system to have this registration system. So there's a mechanism in place for the FAA to act quickly, and because there's such a broad spectrum of interests that are a part of the committee, it doesn't appear that there's anybody out there really to challenge it.
Speaking of challenging it, I'm curious, because they're sort of hustling this through so quickly, is that going to leave them open to any court challenges after the fact, when this, presumably when this rule goes into effect?
I think it's unlikely. Again, there's a very broad spectrum of interests that will be participating in developing the rules. FAA does have the authority to act quickly when it feels it needs to. There are a variety of reports, as you are aware, of near misses in the airspace system with small unmanned aircraft. And so I think that they could make a credible case in the final rule that they had to act quickly in order to identify operators so that they could enforce their safety concerns and agendas.
Do you think there's anything else to the FAA being so aggressive here? I mean, in the United States, we don't have to register firearms, but now we're going to have to register drones. What's up with this?
That is a very good point, Patrick. There have been very loud calls, as you know, for something to be done about the handful of cases where drones have been flying close to JFK, LaGuardia, within a half mile of an approach. As you know, that's way too close for the big birds when they come down. 200, 300 people could die just like that if a little bird got sucked into an engine on final approach. There have just been too many near misses reported, mostly by commercial airline pilots, even at 10,000 feet, that the FAA has a real concern that the airspace system is not safe unless they start to get control over everything that's in it. And Patrick, another concern is both Homeland Security and other law enforcement agencies have been expressing greater and greater concern about terrorism, bombs and weaponization of drones. There have been some things, as you've heard in the news, that have been very concerning as a matter of enforcement and, again, keeping the NAS safe. The FAA wants to know who's flying and where, and know that if somebody is flying without registration, that potentially they're a bad guy, and to have heightened interest.
Let me ask you this. If you were representing drone enthusiasts and drone operators as their attorney, what advice would you be giving all of us at this point?
Well, Patrick, I think the first thing that our members should do is to be sure that they pay attention to what's happening on AMA's website. AMA has pledged to keep members up to date on the activities of the committee and to reach out to provide a mechanism for folks to comment on their concerns and things that they want to see done. So that's the first thing I would do. The second is that there's a very narrow window for providing meaningful comments to the FAA to shape what that rule looks like. So on October the 19th, the FAA did what looks a lot like an NPRM, asking for comments on a specific list of questions about what the shape of the National Registry System should be. Should it be every kind of aircraft, or should there be a limit? I mean, look, there are some toys that kids will get for Christmas that have no possibility of getting anywhere near an airport. So what kinds of birds should be registered? What would be the circumstances of registration? Is it a web-based? Is there fees? Those kinds of things. Those are all questions FAA is legitimately asking in a 15-day window in something, again, that looks very much like the NPRM. And FAA also says that if you miss the 15 days, it's not jurisdictional, that they'll consider comments as they come in afterwards, but they make clear that they're going to be most meaningful if they come in that 15-day window. So I would advise people to do their very best to look at that and to answer the questions that FAA asks.
All right, well, that's good advice, Wendy. But let me ask you this. This thing seemed to come up so quickly, and I think it caught a lot of people, at least in the community, off guard. Is this really going to happen now, or what do you see moving forward?
Yes, Patrick, I think we were all a little bit caught off guard when this announcement came out on the 16th of October, but it's been in the works a long time. And as you could see from the press conference that was held on October the 19th, FAA has done a good job of reaching out to its constituency, AMA, the Airline Pilots Association, and others to gain a certain level of support for the registry concept. And so having done that, having obtained sort of the buy-in, at least in concept, of the major players in the organization, the train has left the station. And I think that a national registry system is in the works, and the only real question is what it's going to look like.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you so much, Wendy, as always, for taking your time to speak with us. And all of you out there, thanks for watching, and fly safe. And comment on the FAA period while that's still open.